There's something in the heart of God that He always wants to meet with His people. And that's exactly what He did in what we know of as the Tabernacle. My name is Chris Montgomery, pastor at Fraser Church, and thank you for joining us on this 8-week journey as we learn how to enter His presence.
Welcome to day 31 of the Tabernacle, the preparation of incense. Charles Spurgeon once said, "Let your thoughts be psalms, your prayers incense, and your breath praise." Our text today is Exodus chapter 30, verses 34 through 38. The Lord said to Moses, "Take sweet spices, stacked and onycha and galbanum, sweet spices with pure frankincense, of each shall there be an equal part, and make an incense blended as by the perfumer, seasoned with salt, pure and holy. You shall beat some of it very small, and put part of it before the testimony and the tent of meeting, where I shall meet with you. It shall be most holy for you. And the incense that you shall make according to its composition, you shall not make for yourselves. It shall be for you, holy to the Lord. Whoever makes any like it to use as perfume shall be cut off from his people." When you think of incense, what smells come to mind? In their commentary on Exodus, Philip Ryken and R. Kent Hughes discuss how our senses relate to the tabernacle and the altar of incense. The pungent spice of burning leaves on a crisp afternoon in autumn, the savory aroma of Thanksgiving turkey roasting in the oven, the leathery smell of a brand new baseball glove, and the pleasing scent of box hedges lining an English rose garden are a few of my favorite smells. Each one immediately calls to remembrance significant personal experiences. The sense of smell adds spice to life. If there was one smell that Israel's priests could never forget, it was the smell of burning incense. Their service in the tabernacle was a complete sensory experience. There were things to touch, like fine linen fabric, cool water, and the hairy skins of sacrificial animals. There were beautiful things to see, bright lights, golden furniture, and the colorful curtains. There were good things to taste, fresh bread, fine wine, and juicy meat. There were pleasing things to hear, such as the bells on the high priest's robe. But there were also some things the priest could smell. Outside in the courtyard, they sniffed the savory aroma of burning sacrifices. But inside the holy place, they smelled something more fragrant. It was the pungent scent of sweet, spicy incense rising from a golden altar. David Levi gives an in-depth look at the preparation of the incense for the tabernacle and discusses how it pictures Christ. The incense was made from 3 specific sweet perfumes. That's from Exodus 30, verse 34, mixed with frankincense. Stacked, which was either a sweet gum that exuded from the storax tree, which is similar to a poplar tree, growing in Israel, or it was a few drops of myrrh. Onycha, which is Hebrew for shell, which comes from the shell of a mollusk, and when burned, gives off a perfumed fragrance. And galbanum, a gum resin that emits a milky sap with a balsamic odor and comes from the Syrian fennel. Frankincense is a fragrant white gum that comes from a tree called the salai found in Arabia. The spices were weighed out equally, according to Exodus 30:34, mixed into wood substance by the perfumers, according to Exodus 30:35, and beaten to emit their fragrances, and that's from verse 36. The sweet-smelling incense was a beautiful picture of Christ in all his perfection and grace before God and mankind. His life emitted a fragrant perfection of purity and holiness, unmarred by sin or fleshly motives. Christians are called a sweet savor to God and the world. That's from 2 Corinthians 2, verses 14 through 16. As we move through society, we are like incense that has been crushed and burned, emitting the perfume of the knowledge of Christ to the glory of God. The world responds in various ways to Christians as they emit the fragrance of Christ. To those who are lost and indifferent to the gospel, the incense of Christ is the savor of death unto death. But to those who respond to our witness, Christ is the savor of life unto life. Some of the incense was beaten and put before the testimony, the Ark of the Covenant, in the tabernacle outside the Holy of Holies. That's from Exodus 30, verse 36. It was there to be ready to be used when necessary. So it is with Christians, whose hearts should be prepared before God to offer up the sweet incense of prayer. So even the preparation of the incense points to Jesus Christ while also symbolizing Christians' impact on the world around them. As the priest stood before the altar of incense and the sweet-smelling incense filled the holy place, may we stand before God in prayer, realizing how His presence profoundly impacts our lives. Some questions to consider. What comes to your mind and senses when you think of the fragrance that Jesus left on this world and on your life? How do the following words by Larry Fogel inspire you today? The sweet aroma that emanated from the golden altar foreshadowed the sweet aroma of the saints of Jesus. For we are to God the aroma of Christ among those who are being saved and those who are perishing. That's 2 Corinthians 2:15. We are to bring a different scent to the world, a pleasing odor to God, to the saved and the unsaved. If possible, burn a fragrant candle today before the Lord. As the smoke ascends and the fragrance fills the room, rejoice in the Lord's presence as you spend time in prayer with Him. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.